Hey guys, it's me again, coming back with another absolutely crazy build. You guys know how I make a lot of these weird builds. I did my Zero's Reflection build. I did a Whispering Ice with 5 totems. I did a Doryani's Catalyst build. So I do all these crazy builds, and of course I have another one here. This time what I've done is, well, what I have here is a Molten Juggernaut. However, it has a pretty nice twist to it, and if you just look at my gear, you can maybe already tell what that twist is. I'm level 93 right now, and I'll show you guys what I've done. Essentially, I've combined two builds together. I have combined what many of you probably know, this build right here, the Undeniable Jug, by this man, Gorno DD, but then I've also squished it together with this build here, the Soulthirst Thunder Jug. So I really wanted to kind of use Soulthirst, and well, I started playing just this build right here. However, I came across that video from the Soulthirst build. This video right here that was pretty popular. It has like 20,000 views. So I came across that, and then I decided, instead of using a typical RT Sunder, why don't I just stick with the Undeniable Jug and just throw Soulthirst in? So that's what I've done. So what I have here is my Molten Juggernaut using Soulthirst. So what I have is I'm using Growlwood Shank and Soul Taker. That takes care of the mana problems. I don't need any mana gained on hit, and as a matter of fact, I cannot have any mana gained on hit. So, whereas in that Undeniable Jug, like the end game, you need a lot of mana gain on hit jewels. I don't have any because I need Soulthirst. So none of my jewels have mana gain on hit. And so the mana is taken care of by Soulthirst. Or, sorry, not Soul, Soul Taker. A lot of soul items in this build. Mana is taken care of by Soul Taker. And that allows us to pretty much never fill our mana up, but still Leap Slam and do the Molten Strike. The reason why I chose Molten Strike and not that RT Sunder is because the problem with that RT Sunder Soulthirst build by itself was that it doesn't really have any sustain. The problem with it is you can't use flasks. You can't use the health flasks. You can't use any kind of flasks. So this build needs another way to find sustain. So the main kind of thing I figured was, why not just go Molten Strike, life gain on hit, and Soulthirst. So as you can see with my rings, both of them are Elder rings. They both have tier 1 life gain on hit, Eldritch mod. So I have roughly, I think right now I have 35 life gain on a hit, but I get up to 40. One thing to note with this build, you cannot use Thieves Torment, because Thieves Torment will give you mana gain on hit as well, and you cannot have mana gain on hit because your mana will fill up really quick, and it will stop this flask from staying active. This build pretty much revolves around keeping this flask up for as long as you can. Right now, as you can see, if I, well, you need to get low mana first, but if I drink this flask, I have 21 seconds of uptime right now. Obviously, while I Leap Slam and do Molten Strike, it'll stay up for the whole 20 seconds. So for those whole entire 20 seconds, I have Soulthirst, and it is pretty ridiculous, especially on delves. So I'll show you guys an example here. So basically, I am pretty much like a machine gun of Molten Strikes, and each Molten Strike heals me for 35 life. So I'll just do this pretty long delve here, 480. This is a depth of 237, monster level 81. So this is a pretty high up delve. So essentially what I start by doing is I'll just Molten Strike a little bit to get my mana low, and then I will pop my Blood Rage, and then I'll start using my flask. And from this point, I pretty much just get Soul Eater, and it is pretty much insane from there. This delve, unfortunately, is giving a lot of weird turns, so... But as you can see, I am probably doing around 50 attacks a second, and just absolutely tearing through this delve here. It's a little intense to play. So yeah, like the original build guide says, it's not really a build for everyone, but it's absolutely broken for delves. And then the greatest part is you can just hold right click here. You still want to leap slam occasionally to keep your temporal chains up, but as you can see, it's just absolutely broken, to say the least. So even if you have to reuse the flask, it's really good XP as well, especially once you get to these high level delves. And there it is. I have a pretty funny loot filter sound too. So yeah, that was depth 237, monster level 81. So not an easy delve by any means, but as you can see, I absolutely face rolled that. Let me go over my tree now, and so pretty much again what I've done is I pretty much merged the undeniable jug plus the Soulthirst build together. So still using elemental overload. We're not RT. We're not doing any of that. We were using the skittering runes, but essentially other than that, it's the pretty typical undeniable jug tree. So we still go here. So we have to go up here to get Druidic Rite, which is again, as mentioned, the other build, very important because it gives that 20% increased flask effect duration, which is quite important and keeps our flask up for a lot longer. Unfortunately, we can't reach Alchemist. It's just too many points for just 10% flask effect duration. But that's about it. I'm still using the exact same ascendancy. It's just unbreakable, unflinching, unstoppable, unyielding. Unstoppable is very important because we temporal chains ourselves. If you guys watched the original build guide for the Soulthirst one, you guys kind of know how this works. But we use Shackles of the Wretched to curse reflect temporal chains onto ourselves. This will make sure our flask stays up for roughly double the time. Which is really important. So I'm using the shackles. I managed to get +2 curse gems, which is probably the best thing I could have gotten. So I'm just temporal chainsing, curse on hit, faster attack, sleep slam, just like in the guide. There's my Soulthirst. You want to make sure on the Soulthirst you have as low reduced flask effect duration as possible. Ideally also low increased mana recovery because you don't want the mana to fill up too fast. That's why also we don't get quality on this flask because we don't want the mana to fill up too quickly. And that's basically the build. What else have I not covered? So again, as you're using the flask, you cannot... Oh, that's one of my whoops. Hang on a second. I would actually like to check that really quickly. Nope, I don't need that. You can't use any of your other flasks, but the reason why I have these other flasks is if I'm in a boss room, if I don't have Soulthirst up anymore, at that point, it's just a regular Molten Strike build. So at that point, you can just use your flasks again. And yeah, it's just a regular Molten Striker. So this build's absolutely ridiculous, and it's absolutely insane for delves. That's why I really kind of wanted to share it. I think this build can definitely go easily into crazy delves. I also don't use Lore Weave. I kind of decided I wanted to be a little more tanky. I think the original build only had like 5k life. I really wanted more life than that, so I decided to go with the combs. My biggest upgrade I have left to do is get a better helm. For a helmet, what I am trying to get is a eye level 82 Elder Helmet with 30% temp chains curse effect on the enchant, with Horror, Immolate, Conk. It's a very hard helm to get. This one has the Horror, but it has really good life, but it doesn't have the Immolate or Conk effect, and it doesn't have the enchant. Essentially, I'm trying to get a helm like this one right here, with the Horror enchant, and with the 30% increased temp chains. However, a helmet like that does not yet exist, so that's pretty much my last big upgrade I have for this build. Other than that, it's pretty much done. Once I get 2 extra gem sockets in my Molten Strike, I'll have way more than enough mana cost to ever have to worry about my mana actually refilling all the way. I already pretty much don't have to worry about it, but that's just going to ensure that my mana never actually gets full and tops off. But that's about it. If you guys have any questions, just leave it in the comments below. I will be glad to answer. And just wanted to share this build with you guys. Thanks for watching, and see you guys.